Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om, Jai Ma. We are looking at Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so far we have seen Arjuna's flight and Arjuna's flight to both. We always try to stay healthy, and for that we also keep our health in form of cure also, and in form of precautionary actions. And so that shows our alertness about our health of our physical body. But most of the time our psychological body, the mental body is ignored, and the disease what psychologically one has is not even been identified, but also most of the time superimposed on other person, not on oneself. And as a result, one tends to suffer, and as a result, one also down the road justifies one's own belief, one's own negativity, one's own attachment. So the purpose of the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta, or the great masters coming among us is to uplift from this our stage. And same purpose we also find in Bhagavad Gita, that universal disease, what we call the psychologically, which is traditionally called samsara, but technically it is called attachment, followed by sorrow, and followed by delusion, that we have seen already. And that is also surfaced in case of Arjuna, and same thing happens in our case also, that most of the time we are quite happy, we are quite content, balanced, but when a critical situation occurs, the fear pops up, the sorrow pops up from almost nowhere, and we find ourselves caught and try to eradicate that sorrow, fear, etc. And all we have different means is external means in terms of securing ourselves better, changing external setups, etc. But the intelligent one, the one who has quite analyzed one's own life, has checked enough that I have done so many trials and errors, but still this internal grief, sorrow, fear, sense of incompleteness doesn't go. It stays. So there must be some cause within me, not outside. So that is a sign of an intelligent person, sign of a person who is a mature one. So not to blame others, world, other members, friends or government, but definitely one's own self. That there is fault in me. That is the first step in a field of spirituality. And the second one is definitely try to work it out, try to solve that issues. And when once all efforts fail, that's where a person is having that sense of helplessness. That my own skills, my own ability, knowledge is not working. It might be working temporarily, it might be working for some time being, but after some time I find myself in a square one, So what is the outcome for that? And that's where a person goes for external help, seeks the help of others. Till then, definitely the vanity doesn't let a person go, because I know how to solve my problems, So that kind of attitude remains. But over the time, person becomes open. How? That I am helpless, now I need help from external source. So when this stage comes, then and then person becomes open for getting some words of wisdom or knowledge from external source. Till that point, everybody is a jnani. Yes. The only thing is that I'm just enjoying the world and gaining some more. Yes, but everybody is jnani. So that is the case, and then person is open. Once person is open, the help is already there, and one is availing that help, and then person goes from light to more light, from knowledge to more knowledge, from happiness to more happiness. The journey goes in that way. So now if we see the case of Bhagavad Gita, the Arjuna also was exposed with this problem of attachment followed by grief and followed by delusion. And he also tried his level best that in this given situation where there is a final judgment or war between Pandavas and Kaurava, and there is no going back, one cannot delay anymore, one has to act. So at that time the Arjuna faces a huge crisis, because he has to face his own relatives, his own cousins, his own guru, grandsire, etc. But earlier he was quite clear that other side is the side of adharma, and his own side is a side of a dharma. But then delusion comes. Why? The deep down, the attachment, the raga, that covers the right vision. This is what happens, when even in a society also, the law applies equal to all. Say in a company, there is some misdeed by some employee, so the higher management definitely is ready to punish. But when finds that employee is a relative, then some excuse are also found. Some escape windows have been formed or already there to make it use. So that happens. Why? The attachment. So the attachment always comes when we have to give a justice, not to others, but to in our own life in general, if we talk about. So in case of Arjuna, he tried his level best, and he had only two options. One is to fight it out, and another is to flight, run away from the situation. And both situation he was not happy with. He found that something is wrong, definitely. so far I was justifying my own decision of not to fight this war, and very logical reasons also are given by Arjuna to Lord Krishna. Okay, these are the reasons why we should not fight, etc. But end of his own thinking, he finds that no, there is something wrong in my own thinking, my own understanding, and that's why I should definitely seek a help. And then only he becomes open, he becomes a disciple, he declares that I am now your disciple. So then Krishna Bhagavan becomes a guru, and then he gives the Upadesha to Arjuna. That is the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna Bhagavan becomes a guru of Arjuna, and that's why he becomes a Jagat Guru through the text of Bhagavad Gita. Even today also he gives us this words of wisdom through Bhagavad Gita. So this much we have seen already, and a few more verses I would like to read, and then we can see it further. The Arjun's statement of surrender that I will chant, and then further. Karpanya dosho pahatas svabhavah pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetah yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. So here at this stage, now Arjuna opens up himself and says that okay, now I am really ready for the teaching. Why? Because my own efforts have failed already, and really I want a solution. I cannot delay anymore this situation. And as a result, now Bhagavan gives a Upadesha. Bhagavan now starts his Upadesha, and further also there is another sloka. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudhyad yacchokamuccho shanamindriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnam rudram rajyam suranam adhichadhipatyam. So these two verses shows the state of mind of Arjuna. He is completely helpless. He wants to have a solution. At the same time, all external achievements of the external world doesn't give him satisfaction. This stage should come in the life of each and every seeker. Because as we grow, in general, definition of success is what? To achieve the goals in external world. And once we are successful, once we achieve our goal, we'll be happy, we'll be content. But when the seeker, when the one who is really analyzing one's own life, says that okay, even after achieving one after another goal, my internal state of mind is same as before. It doesn't mean that I don't value my achievements. I value my achievements, I value my success, I value my growth in material world. But it has its own limitation. It still doesn't complete myself. So that part, that kind of a revelation, that kind of at least the vision each and every seeker should have in his own life. And that is being also stated over here. And such statements are also been highlighted in other scriptures by other great masters. That they say in different ways that this will pass away. Whatever you are holding on right now, and have a sense of pride or security or even sometimes vanity, it will pass away. Then what will be your state of mind? So this, many from the great master's life, say for example Lord Buddha, his life also, we have seen that how he got to know the reality of the life, and then he found that okay, all this reality, the sickness, old age, death, etc., that will inevitably happen in my life also, in me also. Then what I'm gonna do? So that question doesn't arise in each and every person's mind, So those definitely who are mature enough, pure enough, who has done enough life inquiry, they will think and try for the solution also. And there is a solution, no doubt about it. So that is the state of mind of Arjuna. Arjuna surrenders means what? Yes, this is what is so far his vision is, his revelation is about his own achievement, and that is not giving his satisfaction, contentment, happiness. He is not able to remove his grief, sorrow, fear, insecurity, etc. And then he is looking for something other than what he has achieved so far. So this kind of a surrender here Arjuna is having towards Bhagavan. And then Bhagavan gives him Upadesha in form of the verse Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashocyananvashocastvam Pragnavadanscha bhashase Gatasuna Nanushocanti Panditaha. Okay, so here starts the Bhagavad Gita, the actual teaching of Bhagavad Gita. And the very first verse in form of Upadesha of Bhagavan, Krishna Bhagavan, that is a keynote, the message of Vedanta or Bhagavad Gita. Means entire message is being condensed in this one verse. That much important this verse is. Verse number 2.11. The first Upadesha of Bhagavad Gita, of Bhagavan, Krishna Bhagavan. What Bhagavan says? Why this is so important? Bhagavan says, Panditaha na anushocanti. Anushocanti means grieve. Pandita means the wise person. The wise person definitely don't grieve, no matter what situation comes. The vision of the wise person is, first of all, to accept all the situation wholeheartedly. And power of acceptance comes only when one knows the reality of the situation, reality of the life. And the first reality is, whatever has come, it will pass away also. It will go also. So one is ready. One is welcoming also, and one is also bidding goodbye. Both. So that is a sign of a wise person. So indirectly Bhagavan says, Arjuna, you are not wise, you are otherwise. The sign of ignorance is what? Person grieves, person is insecure, person is fear. So here indirectly Bhagavan says the sign of the wise person is what? Person never grieves. Or there is not possible that person can undergo that situation of a grief whatsoever. So that is a sign of a wise person. So that is the first thing here it tells. And how these people are called wise people, what makes them wise? And that is the knowledge of the self. Ignorance is the cause of my own grief, my sorrows, my insecurity. So the solution, the medicine of this disease is knowledge. Knowledge of the self. So those who gain that knowledge, definitely they become wise and they are free from the grief. So far all other methods one must have tried and checked out. And then comes to the doorstep of the knowledge. Then comes to the doorstep of the Bhagavad Gita. So that it says, and what is the sign of such wise people? Gatasun agatasunschya. Those who are dead, gone, and agatasuns, who are still living, or Swami Chinmaya says going, in the state of going, those who are gone and those who are going, for both, for both kind of people. And also that should be applied to one's own self also, going state, yes. What it says? They na anusochanti. Asocyan anvasochaha. So here the gatasun is like a gone, means a past. And agatasun, that also shows in a future. That denotes the future. So whatever happened in the past, whatever will happen in the future, no anusochanti. Those wise people don't grieve, never grieve. That's why some people actually, of course, in a way we should try to contain our grief, but it should not be taken literally. That if I won't grieve because I want to be seen as a wise person, But that should be the state of our awareness, So naturally I see the fact of the life and I accept it. Because our griefs are what is sign of our not accepting the fact of the life. So here Bhagavan says the wise is the person definitely who accepts, who knows the fact of the life, and then as a power of knowledge one accepts. So in case of Arjuna, Ashocyan avashochan. You, what is the category of Arjuna? It telling his place, You belong to this place, That you talk like wise people. Prajnavadanscha bhasase. You talk like a wise person. Because earlier when Arjuna was giving a logic, giving a reason that why we should not fight, in that he was giving quite a few the statements which are definitely wise statement. Sometimes it happens that we tend to use some statements which are really wise, but used for our own benefit or covering up our own attachment or weakness. So here Arjuna also has done that. So Bhagavan indirectly tells that I have listened everything. Now I am telling you. So this statement itself is definitely wise, but they are used in a wrong place, definitely. So that is a fact. How the wise people think about, definitely for them it's a statement or a state from very another level. Example I would give that in one ashram, one great sage Uriya Baba, everybody knows. So many people were staying in that ashram, and for long, and few people came just to stay there, and after a while they complained to Swamiji. Swamiji, there are so many people over here. They are talking, like a chit chat they are doing, and they are not talking good about even you also, and So shouldn't you do anything about it? You should definitely teach them lesson, kind of. Then that Babaji said, Swamiji says, that is right, but top of that, apart from this fact, there are so many mosquitoes also here. They are also humming. you are not complaining about them. So what it means that for the wise people, definitely it's the humming only. Yes, they can see that way. The sign of the wise is definitely one don't break down, in very very small matters or even big matter. And that state of mind is desired by everybody. Everybody desires that state of mind, definitely. But few work for it. And those work for it, lucky ones, definitely they achieve that state of mind. So here Bhagavan also says that only just giving a statement of a wise people doesn't make you wise. That is one. What your state of mind is, that shows what your state of grief is. That shows that there is a ignorance, there is a negativity. Still there is a long way to go. Cannot claim yourself as a wise person, man of knowledge. So that is the first thing he says. So sign of the wise person, man of knowledge, is the one who never grieves. There is no cause for grief in that person's life. And further, Bhagavan now tells the message, opens up that same verse, which is in form of different second chapter till 18th chapter. All the 17 chapters are nothing but this opening of this verse, or we can say the Bhagavan's message. So what Bhagavan says in further, the 12th one, Natvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. Now Bhagavan tells about, of course, because Arjuna had surrendered to Bhagavan, and Arjuna's problem was fight or not to fight, or how to come out of this critical situation. So in general, if we put this this situation, the problems are of two types. One is a fundamental problem, which persists, and the second is incidental. That is the time being, and that comes and it poses a challenge in our life and then goes also. And fundamental challenge, a fundamental problem also comes in terms of some situations only, but they come like regular pop-ups. It is just like say if we have cold, so we take some medicine, household, some medicine we have in a medicine box, and it goes away. After some time again cold comes and we take medicine, and the same thing happens again and again. So what would be conclusion? There has to be some other cause. I am not addressing that cause. I should address the cause, the actual cause of the cold. There can be many causes. So what happens that when my fundamental cause is addressed, all different problems, issues related to that cause will be solved. So here Arjuna's problem is not a merely incidental problem. His problem is not to fight or not to fight. He is a Kshatriya warrior. He loves war. He has fought so many wars earlier also. So he looks for, especially when there is a dharma, definitely he will go for the war. So fight or not to fight is incident point of view, there is not a question. The fundamental question is, because of his own attachment, because of his own weakness, he is not able to take a decision, not able to fight. So for us, this fight or not to fight, it may not be applicable, because we don't need to go to the borders and fight. There is no even right now there is no occasion of the fight. So this problem, the surfacial problem, can be different. It is different also. It doesn't match. It is different story that we have our own fights and our own separate individual war zones. That everybody has their own. That's why it is called that each person's life is a Kurukshetra. But the fundamental problem, there is a great match between that of Arjuna and of us also. And what is that fundamental problem? Our own attachment, our own grief, our fear, insecurity, etc. And that is needed to be handled. And Bhagwan, the Krishna Bhagwan through Bhagavad Gita, is not merely handling that, why you should fight literally, but he is addressing this fundamental problem and trying to eradicate that problem. So that's why it is applicable to us also. Because sometimes people may say, that it was a problem of Arjuna, what is that is to do with me? And he got solution, good for him. No. What I'm going to get from this study of this Bhagavad Gita, because fundamental problems are same. If these problems are being seen, then only it will work out. As a solution, part of a solution, Bhagwan gives Upadesha in 3 different forms, 3 different levels. First Upadesha, first teaching is Bhagwan gives teaching of self, or from the spiritual standpoint of view, Bhagwan gives a teaching. Second level of teaching is from ethical level, from dharma level. And third level of teaching is from worldly level, laukika. So 3 different ways Bhagwan gives the teaching to Arjuna. And what is the conclusion? Arjuna must fight. Arjuna must fight. So 3 different levels: philosophical level, or adhyatmika level. Second is the ethical level or dharmika level. And third is a laukika level or worldly level. So, and Bhagwan starts with the philosophical, adhyatmika level. Why? Because just like us, Arjuna was also quite learned. He of course knew that what are the ethics, what are the nitis, what are the right ways of living, what are the righteous way of living, etc. So he was not needed to be taught that particular point where, but spiritual point, the ultimate reality, definitely he was needed to be taught. And that is where Bhagwan starts his message. So about self, about one's own true self, the consciousness principle, Bhagwan gives a message. And what is that message? Definitely Bhagwan tells in different verses, but in a crux, if I say that Bhagwan tells the nature of self and what is self. So with compare to our body, because this is how we are conscious of most, which is our body and the mind. If we relate, or if we try to see in the light of or compare with this body and mind, there are 5 different observations, 5 different facts about the self. If we analyze, if we study these 5 points, we can get to know, have some idea about what self is. So the first point is this self. The nature of self is what? The self is not a part, a product, or property of this body. Self is not part, any product or property of this body. Self is other than this body. This self enlivens this body. First of all, it pervades this body and then enlivens it. The nature of body is inert. Because of the presence of self, this body is seen enlivened. Body is seen living. That is the second. And third, self is not limited to this body, because we feel definitely I'm living being from head to toe. Beyond that, I don't know. So what is the fact about self? Self is beyond this body, even though we don't experience many things. We don't experience, or also on the top of that, our experiences are contrary to the fact. Just like a sunrise and sunset, etc. I'm just talking that way. So we definitely see sunrise, but it's not a sunrise actually. But experience is sunrise. Same way. So there are very many experiences which definitely, if they are seen literally, they will curtain our vision of truth. Okay, so if I come back to these points, third point, that self is beyond this body. It's not limited by the boundary of this body. If I give an example, that the light, when light reflects to any object, say flower or my hand or anybody, so what is seen is definitely hand or flower. But how it is seen? That light pervades entire object, hand or flower. And because of this light, hand is seen. And there is a limit of object. Hand has limit, this particular size and shape. And then we can say definitely that object ends. But we cannot say light ends. We cannot say light ends. So as many objects, as many light is. We don't say. Light is one, across one light so many objects are revealed. So many objects are seen. So in our perception also, what we stress, what we emphasize is object, not the light. We take light very lightly. Yes. So what is needed to be done, that also try to see the light along with the object. And the nature of light is different, nature of object is different. So that is the message here. So now we will replace light with a consciousness principle, the self, and object with our own body. So that way the consciousness principle, the self, is not limited to this body, this consciousness principle enlivens this body, pervades this body, and makes this body live. So these are the three. The fourth one is body definitely perish, but this consciousness principle never. Object may get destroyed, not the light. Not the light. And the fifth one is the consciousness principle without a media, which is the body, cannot transact. Transaction is always possible, only possible with help of a body. When we say body, means body mind both we should consider. Body mind, whole one complex. So this message Bhagavan gives in different words. So in crux, Bhagavan gives this message that you take a body for the self, body for the even real individual, and then grieve. The body, who has taken birth, is definitely bound to perish also, but not the real individual. So same message Bhagavan gives that what you talk about your guru, your cousins, your grandsire, etc., they were earlier also. Now definitely you see, in future also they will be there. You don't need to worry about them. Not only that, you also will be there. I also will be there. You were earlier. Now of course you are. And later also you will be. So these kings, the relatives, by pointing individual bodies, what Bhagavan means, consciousness principle, the Chaitanya, the Atma. That Atma ever remains. So that knowledge one who gains becomes a wise. His ignorance definitely casts away, and one has no reason for sorrow. So, and that further message also, that in form of questions from Arjuna, which is a doubt from the teaching, that also Arjuna poses, and then further Bhagavan clears that doubt, and this is how that entire teaching goes further. And at last, what Bhagavan wanted to enlighten Arjuna, not only give basic instructions and give an order, you must fight and go ahead. So, end of this teaching, Bhagavan also asked Arjuna, are your doubts clear? Did you get proper knowledge? And Arjuna also tells, as a result, yes, nashto moha smritir laptva. Yes, my delusion, my moha now has gone. It's clear. And I got the knowledge. Now I can see things as they are. As it is, I see. And that's why I don't have any reason for sorrow, the grief. So that is the message, further it goes. But in crux we can see that much, I think, for now.